Hi again, everybody. I'm Bill Phillips, and this is Bucco Triple Play, where we throw it around the horn, talking Pittsburgh Pirates baseball with my partners, Don Sloan and the one and only Rich Donnelly. And fellas, we talked about it last week coming into the series against Tampa Bay. Would it be a measuring stick series? Well, the Pirates take 2 or 3. What does that tell us about this weekend's events, and what does it tell us about the Pirates going forward? Rich, Don?
Well, I think the last game told us a lot because they finally got what they needed, Rich. They got 7 innings out of a starting pitcher. Mitch Keller looked very sharp. 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 5 hits with 7 strikeouts. Saved that bullpen.
Yeah, so important. I think we're going to see the trend now where these guys are going to be allowed to go into the 7th and 8th inning with 90-plus pitches, and Keller was the first example of that.
And Bill, Friday night, things kicked off, and it was like a playoff game, a great playoff-type atmosphere. They wore the City Connect jerseys, great crowd, and they won that one 5-1. And then the momentum the next day is Skeens pitching. Skeens bobblehead day. Then it rained.
Mm-hmm. It rained on the parade, and that's a problem when you have a pitcher with the talent of Paul Skeens, the arm talent of what he possesses. You don't want to take a chance with him. As soon as it started to rain, they went in the rain delay. I think if it goes 10, 15, 20 minutes, he's not going back into the game because they don't want to take a chance with that arm. So, Rich, can you talk us through how the decisions are made in terms of a pitcher that's in a rain delay? He's your horse, he's your guy, but you want to make sure he's there for the end of the season. How does that work out for a manager and pitching coach?
Yeah, usually there's a time limit. Each pitcher has one. Like if the delay goes more than a half hour, I'm done. If it goes, some guys, I can go an hour and I'm still loose. With Skeens, it's probably somewhere in the hour vicinity. Once it got past an hour, the happiest people in the ballpark were the Tampa Bay Rays. They were praying that it goes 2 hours and get Skeens out of the game. It knocks you out of your routine. Everything you prepare for to pitch, a 2-hour delay knocks you completely out. And I think once it got past probably an hour and 15 minutes, Skeens probably told DK, I'm done. I can't restart again.
They're up 4-0. Skeens pitching. Ozuna had a home run. O'Hearn had a home run. The momentum from the night before. Things are rocking and rolling. As a Pirate fan, it could not get any better. Then it rained. What happens during a rain delay? How can you have a team keep their edge? I've never seen, they had all the momentum in the world and came out and it was done.
Well, it knocks you off your momentum, knocks you off your routine. You come to the ballpark every day, pitcher, catcher, whatever. You have a routine to get you ready for the game, to get you through. You have a routine every inning. Now all of a sudden you got a 2-hour delay.
And what happens then? What happens during the rain delay?
You walk in and the spread that you're going to eat after the game is covered. And you have a tendency to lift up the spread and maybe grab a burger, maybe grab a piece of cake or something. It knocks you off completely off your routine. Now, if you're the Rays, you're thinking, hey man, Skeens is going to be out of here. We got a chance to come back. That's exactly what happened.
What happens during those 2 hours?
You just lay around. You watch TV. It's terrible because it's not normal to what you do every day for a game.
Play poker?
And you play poker, you play cards, or whatever, and the longer this goes, honestly, as a player, you're hoping they call the game and come back tomorrow.
Yeah. Pirates ended up losing that game 8-7, Bill, in 13 innings. One that if the rain doesn't come, they probably win.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what the great thing is about that game, even though they lost, the bats were working. The Pirates' bats continue to produce. Let's take a look at the 2026 Lumber Company as we speak. And here we go. You take a look at Ryan O'Hearn, 329, 4 home runs, 15 runs driven. And Cruz is 292, 6 and 19. Lau, 267, 7 and 18. And Brian Reynolds, 266, 3 home runs, 15 runs driven in. This is a group, and if they can stay consistent. You don't have to get scorching hot for the whole season, but if you can be consistent, put up the power numbers they've had, they're going to have an opportunity to be in every ball game, Rich.
I want to talk about a couple of the names on that list. They had the game with Washington where Brandon Lau, they pinch hit for him. The game goes long, so his replacement, instead of one of your better hitters who's red hot getting 2 at-bats, Nick York gets 2 at-bats. Then the other night in the 8th inning, Rich, they pinch run for Ryan O'Hearn with Billy Cook in the 8th. That game goes extra innings, goes 13 innings. There were 3 at-bats that your cleanup hitter O'Hearn could have had, but he's out of the ballgame.
Yeah, you have to be very careful in tight games toward the end. That game Saturday night was the longest game inning-wise this year in the major leagues, 13 innings. The thing you don't want to do is use guys too early, maybe in a pinch running situation or for defense, because if that game would go like it did, you can run out of players, and then the batting order will turn over, and the guy you put in to pinch run, he's going to come up in a crucial situation where one of your best hitters would have hit. So you got to be very careful on how you handle your players. Tight game toward the end of the game, you have to say to yourself, it's going to go 10, 12, 13 innings. You can't say, well, the game is going to be over in the 9th or the 10th. It could go, like Saturday, it could go 13. You can't be sitting there with no players on the bench, or to have your best hitter spot come up and you have to hit a guy that's maybe hitting 180 who's not as good as that guy he replaced.
And Bill, the MLB.com this week says the Pirates are number 5 in their power rankings. We talked to Dan Plesac from MLB TV, and he had his thoughts.
Well, indeed, he's our special guest today, former Pirate pitcher, Major League analyst, Dan Plesac, who shares his thoughts on the Buccos, as Don mentioned.
I read today MLB.com has the Pirates ranked number 5 in their power rankings. What do you guys at the MLB Network think about this year's edition of the Buccos?
All winter we kept saying if somehow the Pirates could get enough offense to be middle of the pack, they don't have to be like 1 through 5 in offense. And listen, I thought the Pirates did, under the financial constraints that they have, about as good of a job as they could have done. And when you look at the Pirates, it's all about that starting pitching. Everyone wants to talk about Paul Skeens and Bubba Chandler, rightly so. But they're really good. And the one thing that the Pirates do now, they run a really good starting pitcher out there every 5 days. Got a big effort yesterday from Keller after a game Saturday that started and stopped, and Skeen pitched 4 scoreless innings. If they continue to play like this, I think they're going to continue to build momentum. And I thought it was such a big lift when they called Connor Griffin up. Like, there were a lot of people that thought he should have made the team out of camp. They locked him up to a long-term deal, and you guys are closer to this than I am. But I'd have to say, for the first time since the Garrett Cole era, maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago, that Pirate fans are fired up about the Pirates. I don't know if they can win the Central, but I do know this: if they pitch well, they can be scary a long time.
Zach, I tell people all the time, you rate your pitchers, 1 to 5 and all that stuff. Their 4 and 5s are not 4 and 5s. They could be, Ashcroft and Chandler could be 2s and 3s on a lot of teams.
No
that's
doubt.
why every time they go out, they're the favorite to win the game.
No doubt, Rich. And I think the guy that intrigues me, you mentioned him, Bubba Chandler. He was much better in his last start. It's not about the stuff with Bubba. Big arm. He's kind of what that old baseball saying, what they look like. Big, strong right-hander. Really accomplished everything he needed to accomplish in AAA. Rich, if he could just command the strike zone, he's never going to be Greg Maddux or Tom Glavine and be pinpoint control. But if he can harness that stuff and bring it more into the strike zone, I think he has a chance to be a really good pitcher. And this Pirate team, I like what they're doing now, because they can't go out and spend the kind of money that teams like, the Dodgers can spend or the Blue Jays can spend, but they handled the offseason really well. And I hope they continue to play well, because I want to see games in August and September and October at PNC, because I think that's if it's not the best, it's one of the best venues in all of baseball.
Dan Plesac, we'll have more with him coming up. Pirates fans, protect what matters most with Laudamus Communications and Security. From homes to businesses, their managed security systems are monitored 24/7 and built with cutting-edge technology, giving you control, confidence, and even instant lockdown when it matters most. Laudamus Communications and Security, always connected, always protected. Just Right Home Care. We are hiring. Competitive wages, flexible hours, and paid travel expenses. Join our team of reliable and friendly caregivers by applying in person at 2197 National Road in Wheeling or call 304-233-1414 to set up an interview. Gold is trading around $5,000 an ounce. Now is the time to sell your gold. Due to popular demand, the National Gold and Silver Refinery at the Holiday Inn in Weirton, West Virginia, has expanded hours. Open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Fridays until 4 p.m. Get top dollar in cash from the team you can trust. It's time now to open the National Gold and Silver Refinery Riches Treasure Chest with today's guest, Major League Network analyst, former Major League pitcher, Dan Plesac.
I heard that at one point in your Milwaukee career, you were a member of the grounds crew.
Yes.
Could you tell us about that?
Yeah. Actually, it was in Toronto. So opening day is with the Blue Jays. I'm sitting in the bullpen next to Gene Tennis, and I go, man, that's really weird. So in the fifth inning, the door opens up, and you have like 5 or 6 guys running out with rakes and brooms, and they announced it on the PA system, the world's fastest ground crew, the Blue Jays ground crew, and they run out. And so I said, I'm going to do that one day. So you have to pick the really right time to do it. So we were playing really well, and I went to the league grounds crew guy, and I said, hey, leave a uniform in the bathroom back there. I'm going to join the ground crew. He goes, okay, I'm going to put you on broom duty, and you just have to sweep the dirt back onto the field at third base. I said, all right, great. So it is the top of the fifth with 2 outs, and I'm standing, and all of a sudden Gene Tennis looks at me, and he starts laughing. He could see that it's me because the ground crew guys they gathered right in the bullpen area by home plate. And so I'm waving to him, and all of a sudden they hand me a broom and say, go to third base. Just follow the guy in front of you. So I'm standing. Now I'm getting a little nervous, Rich. So they're like, let's go, go, go. They open the door, and all they told me was to follow the guy in front of me. So I'm running with this broom onto the AstroTurf to third base. I start sweeping, and I didn't realize that Otis Nixon had hit a ball in a gap in right center, was thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple. And so as I'm sweeping, Otis Nixon and Cito Gaston are in a huge shouting match with the third base umpire who called Nixon out. So I'm sweeping, and I'm sweeping there at third base as this is going on, and Nixon makes eye contact with me, and I don't even bat an eye, Rich. I'm pretending I'm sweeping. I go, damn, Nixon, if you can't beat the Twins, you guys ought to pack it up and go home. And I kept sweeping. He had no idea it was me. So I go back to the bullpen, and in like 2 hours later, right before the game's over, our clubhouse kid runs out. He goes, you're not going to believe what happened. Otis came in afterwards, after he got thrown out, and he told Malloy, who was the clubhouse guy, he goes, damn, man, there's a guy in the ground crew. Damn guy looks just like Plesac. For a minute, I thought it was him.
Hey, okay. All right, now a couple more. Tell our audience about the time in Philly when the Humperdinck told you how to pitch Dalton.
And that's Jim Wheeler.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, see, people don't know we call him Hump around here, but I have to tell the story. But go ahead.
Yeah. So we have a meeting before the game, and before the series starts, about how we're going to pitch certain guys. And Ray Miller's in the meeting, and they say, "Hey, Darren Dalton right now, he really has slider bat speed right now. So let's just pump the fastballs at this guy." So okay. So I get brought into a game Friday night, and I get the count. There's a man on second, 2 outs, and we were up by a run. And I remember I'm in it. I'm like 4th or 5th pitch in the at bat. He's fouling every fastball off, and Mark Parent was catching. And he kept putting one down, like we were just going to pump fastballs to this guy. And I decided I was going to throw a slider. So I throw a slider. I know I wasn't supposed to. And he hits a bullet back up the middle. The game's tied. Literally, as Mickey Morandini is crossing home plate, I'm backing up home plate. I'm walking out to the mound, and Skip is meeting me on the mound. Doesn't say a word. And I'm thinking, oh, he's mad. And so he always made sure that He walked up and never met a pitcher because he didn't want to pick because he was not a very tall guy. So he would always maneuver his way so you were kind of on eye level. All he did was stick his hand out. I handed the ball in. As I'm walking in, Ray Miller is sitting on that bucket turned upside down.
Yeah.
And he's got, he's hiding the heater going. And Ray goes, "Was that what I thought it was? Was it a slider?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, oh. So the game's over. And we didn't win the game in extra innings. And I'm showering, I'm getting ready to go. And Tommy Shant, bless his heart, walks up to me and goes, "Hey, he wants you in the office and he's pissed." And I'm like, over the slider. He goes, "Yeah." So I walk into the office. I sit down and Jim's getting ready to eat his spread. He said, "Hey, I want you to meet me in the office tomorrow. I want you to meet me in the lobby at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Meet me in the lobby." I said, "What do you want? For what?" He goes, "Well, I got to find out if you're deaf or dumb or find out what the hell is wrong with you. But I know one thing, you sure as hell can't follow instructions. So I got to find out what the hell the reason is. Now get out of here." And I was like, whoa, he was hot. So the next day we have a day game in the vet. And he rattled me. Like because I still have a lot of respect for him. Best manager I ever played for. So the national anthem, and I'm going to work my way out there. And the anthem's over. And he said, "Hey, how many more games you need to get into your bonuses?" I said, "Well, I need like 3 more for 20 grand and like 8 total for another 20. He goes, "You pulled yesterday. I'll make sure you're getting 2. You got me? Start following instructions." But to his credit, he brought me in the game that day to get Darren Dalton again. And he handed me the ball, and he said, "Go ahead, do it your way, but it better work."
Okay, last one. Have you ever had a grudge against anybody in your life?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, wasn't there a time there where you had a rough inning in Milwaukee?
Oh,
All the 7 runs in
the
one
guy
inning?
kept yelling at you or something?
Oh. Yeah, a guy was calling me the butler. I don't know who he is, Rich. So this is like really, first really time I'm struggling in Milwaukee. And they take me out of the closer's role. So the next day I'm down in the bullpen. And this guy, it probably wasn't every game the rest of the year. But whenever he was there, he would hang out by the bullpen. He would say, "Plesac, you're a butler. You're a setup guy. You're not a closer anymore, you butler." And I'm telling you, Rich, every day that he was at a game in 1991, when I started to warm up, he kept calling me the butler. He would call me, "Hey, butler, I know you hear me." I don't know who he is, Rich. I know the face. And if I'm ever in Milwaukee and I see him, I'm dropping him, Rich.
So you have one grudge in your life, yeah.
Yes, that guy. He called me the butler.
Beautiful.
Tremendous stuff. Do you have gold or unwanted jewelry? Now is the time to sell. Due to popular demand, the National Gold and Silver Refinery at the Holiday Inn in Weirton, West Virginia has expanded hours. Open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Fridays until 4 p.m. With gold trading around $5,000 an ounce, now is the time to sell. Looking for compassionate, reliable care for a loved one in the Wheeling area? Just Right Home Care is here to help. Their dedicated team provides personalized in-home support, from daily assistance and companionship to specialized care, so your family member can stay safe and comfortable at home, with a focus on dignity, respect, and peace of mind. Just Right Home Care treats every client like family. Learn more today, because the right care makes all the difference. Call 304-233-1414. In life-changing moments, you need a lawyer who is ready to stand firm. Mike Nogay has over 40 years of courtroom experience securing results in personal injury, medical malpractice, and serious criminal defense cases across West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. That's Weirton attorney Mike Nogay. Law where your fight is his fight. The Battling Buccos now head to Texas for a 3-game series with the Texas Rangers. What about some of the pitching matchups? Here we go. Let's take a look at some of the pitching matchups. We begin on Tuesday, and it's a pretty good matchup as you have Majinski taking on Rocker, two guys that have been pitching pretty well. Majinski especially pitching well with a 1.77 earned run average and the 1-0 record and 20 strikeouts. Wednesday's matchup, Ashcraft and Leiter. Both have made 4 starts. Both have 1-1 records. The earned run average, if you're doing the tail of the tape in boxing, it goes the way of Ashcraft at 2.38. Leiter with a 4.87. Strikeouts 27 by the way of Ashcraft. Should be a good pitching matchup in that one in Texas. And finally, Thursday's mound matchup, Chandler against DeGrom. Ooh. That's one of those ones you pay a ticket for just to see the two pitchers go. These are two special arm talents. 4 starts each, 1-1 for Chandler, 1-0 for DeGrom. Earned run averages 3.15, 2.29, 17 strikeouts. DeGrom, 25 strikeouts. At one point, he may have been the best pitcher in the world. I don't know if Rich would argue with me on that one. How about the hitters for Texas? Brandon Nimmo, 311, 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Jung at third base, 290, 2 home runs, 8 runs driven in. And you see Seager there at shortstop. Corey Seager, 205 home runs and 12 runs batted in. And he is a mainstay on any offense. So that's a look at the matchups. And gentlemen, what do you look at this matchup for the series? What do you think?
Well, first off, finding Nemo, you coached Nemo back in the day.
Yeah, one of the greatest kids you ever want to meet. He's got better every year. The Mets had him when he was early in his career. Now he's down there in Texas off to a great start. So he's going to be one of the guys that the Pirates have to stop.
And really, Seager struggling. Yeah, looking at Corey Seager with a 200 average, you normally don't see that.
And the great thing is you have Plesac breaking down what should be a pretty good matchup for the Pirates in this one. Let's hear from him now.
Pirates now go to Texas to play the Rangers for 3 games. Then after that, they go to Milwaukee. They've got the Cardinals and the Reds. So a very interesting stretch coming up here for the Pirates.
Yeah, and I think what I like about this stretch, the one thing that the Rangers have not been able to do is score a lot of runs. They have really good starting pitching with DeGrom, Eovaldi. Jack Leiter is been really a great find for them. I just think it's a good way to start the series off because if the Pirates pitching is as good as it has been, you'd have to think they should be able to contain that Rangers lineup. So at least for the first part of this next part of the schedule for the Pirates, it's a team in the Rangers that has really struggled to score runs. So it could be a way to get this good trip started off.
Great matchup. And how about the Ozone heating up the Big Bear, Marcell Ozuna? How about the last few games? In his last 4 games, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 7 hits, and 5 runs driven in. He is getting the job done at the plate. He is heating up. And as Rich always likes to say, Don, lifetime numbers are lifetime numbers for a reason. He's going to hit his. Rich, what do you like about what Ozuna is doing right now when you watch him taking his at-bats? Is he locked in on what he needs to do to make himself successful?
Yeah, I think he's coming along. Like we always say, look on the back of his baseball card. You'll see what he's going to do this year. Even though he got off to a horrendous start, he's a seasoned veteran. He's probably going to have his numbers at the end of the year, and is exactly what the Pirates need now to go on this road trip. They pitching-wise, we match up great with them. All we have to do is maybe try to eke out 4.5, 5 runs a game, and we'll be fine.
Well, and he's got the fans backing him now because I'm telling you, early on when he was struggling, the Boo Birds were out big time for Marcell Ozuna because as he started slow, Andrew McCutchen had the quick start for the Rangers. But man, things have flipped around. Now McCutchen struggling, not getting a lot of at-bats, and Ozuna is picking up, and there's a look at it.
So you team Ozuna or team Kutch?
Well, I'll tell you what, I always loved Kutch, always one of my favorite Pirates. But
absolutely.
It's time to make the change. I'm team Ozuna. I think we're just seeing the start of what he can do. He's got a couple of homers. You saw Kutch, 207 average, now a home run, 5 ribbies, and 29 at bats.
Yeah, Osuna, proven major league hitter. Don't worry about him. He's going to be fine. I worry about guys who have never done it before. He's done it. Look at his numbers. Look at his past. He's going to be fine. And sometimes, when you get booed at home, it's better to go on the road and play where no one's booing you. They may be booing Kutch tonight in Texas. Who knows?
Well, they did that. See, Donnie Kelly went, and the last 2 games of the homestand, he benched him, and then they went to Chicago, and that's where he got hot. So I think Donnie Kelly's handled this well, and that's what the fans felt. They felt it was an either or. Either you sign Ozuna or you sign Kutch, and the fans are obviously in the early going Team Kutch, but I think they're going to switch.
All right, the Big Bear is rolling for the Pirates right now, and now we run into 3 up, 3 down. Let's start with what's up. Let's start with the positive. Don, what do you have for us?
Jose Ramirez, the Guardians, 6 home runs, 10 steals so far this year, career-wise. 291 homers, 297 steals. Why is that a big deal? He's close to the 300 club. Guys in that club, he'd be the 9th of them. Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds, Willie Mays, and A-Rod, some pretty elite company.
He'll be going to the Hall of Fame. Rich, what do you have?
Well, I give my up to the Pirates scouting department, and I'm pretty sure on this. The Pirates have 5 homegrown electric starters, and people don't realize what scouts do. They sleep at different hotels every night. They go all over the place trying to find these players, and people don't even know about them until they're drafted, until you see them at PNC. But to go out and get guys like Skeens, Keller, Majinski, Ashcraft, Chandler, that's a lot of scouting. I give the Pirates scout department kudos all over the board because they had the top picks and they picked the right guys. And now you're seeing it every night you're seeing it.
All right, my up is Dylan Cease of the Toronto Blue Jays. 12 strikeouts in 5 innings of work, picked up his first win against the Los Angeles Angels. So he's a free agent. He comes in, he gets that big win. He has the strikeouts. Oh yeah, and he signed a contract for $210 million over 7 years. So he's doing okay. So I think he's on an up. What about the downs, Don?
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies, 6-game losing streak, 2-9 in their last 11. Phils are struggling where top of that division, the Braves are red hot.
Rich?
Yeah, the Pirates hitters and their runs in scoring position are last in baseball. And you say, oh, that's terrible. The Pirates are 13-9. They're in first place. They're not hitting on all cylinders yet, and they're last with runners in scoring position. If you put that up in the middle of the pack or a little higher, watch out. They haven't even reached their peak yet. So they need to do more. We're last in baseball with runners in scoring position, and you still have a winning record. That's unbelievable. So on this trip, let's see if we can knock in some more runs with guys on second and third.
All right, Don, I liked your pick of the Phillies, but I will see you a New York Mets losing streak. How about this? 11 straight. They have the payroll $350 million, and I'm getting tired of hearing the national reporters and publicists say, well, Juan Soto's going to come back. He's going to come back. Hey, you know what? He's one guy. You need 9 to win. He'll help. But man, 11 games. Maybe in the middle of the season, this kind of gets washed away because it's the middle of the season. But to start the season, someone's going to get fired. I'm calling within the next 2 weeks, an executive, a head coach, a manager, whatever, someone's going to get let go. All right, Sunday Night Baseball on Peacock this week. The Angels and the Royals. That game is set for Sunday, April 26th at 7 in the evening. Texas Rangers, Detroit Tigers, Sunday, May 3rd at 7 o'clock on Peacock. And the Tigers and Royals, Tigers getting a lot of love. Sunday, May 10th at 7 on Peacock. How about on Fox, Tigers and Reds on Saturday? That game's at 7 o'clock. Gentlemen, I want to ask you about the Reds right now because they're I know I'm going a little off the beaten path here, but the Cincinnati Reds, talk to me about this team because they are right there at the top of the division. They are playing, well. What do you like about what they're doing in Cincinnati?
Well, I tell you what, I think Terry Francona is a great manager. Like we said, Tigers, Reds Saturday night on Fox 9. But I watched that game Sunday. They were dead. They were done in the water. They came back, rallied, beat the Twins. This Reds team, a lot of heart, and they don't quit. Well, and they've got pitching that's out. They've got the reserves are coming off the IL later, and they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Well, Terry Francona, Hall of Fame manager, he's been there before, 2 world titles. He knows what buttons to push, and he's a winning manager. And winning managers don't all of a sudden become losing managers. They stay winning managers. He knows the buttons to push. He has a great offensive team. They're in a great offensive ballpark, doing a lot better than the experts thought at this time of year.
All right, also on Peacock, Dodgers and Cardinals, that's Saturday, May 2nd at 7, and then the Cardinals and Padres, Saturday, May 9th at 7 o'clock as well. Let's take a look at the central standing. We just mentioned the Reds. Reds on top, Pirates, Cardinals, Cubs, and the Brewers. That Christian Yelich injury, it's hurting the Brewers, but look at this division. Rich, Don, this division is as good as any in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, right now it's the best. You have all 5 teams over 500, and yet they're not even playing at their peak yet, like we talked about the Pirates. If they start to hit a little better and runs with runners in scoring position, oh my Lord. And all these teams are going to get a little better as the season gets longer.
Yeah, the Cubs started slow, Bill, but they've gotten hot. The Cubs 6-game winning streak entering the week. Reds with a 4-game winning streak.
All right, around the Central, the Cubs 5-game winning streak, as you mentioned. Cardinals, Jordan Walker continues to just crush it for the Cardinals. 14-game hitting streak. He's been hitting with power as well. So it is a season that is interesting in the Central. If it goes this way the whole season, it's going to be absolutely sensational to watch. Want to remind everybody, coming up Saturday, the Bucco Triple Play is on Fox 9 at 4 in the afternoon. There you go, Bucco Triple Play on Fox 9 at 4 in the afternoon. Saturday, May 2nd, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Fox 9. Saturday, May 9th at 1 p.m. on Fox 9. Saturday, May 16th at 3:30 in the afternoon on Fox 9. Gentlemen, final thoughts. Wrap it up.
Well, deep in the heart of Texas, you want to go there and win, and I think I think the Pirates can go down there and take at least 2 out of 3. That pitching matchup in the last game on Thursday is going to be a tough one, but you need good momentum because then they go to Milwaukee on Friday.
Yeah, good road trip to figure out what kind of team we have. You're not really going to know till 90 days, probably June 1st. But these road trips are so important. So far, we've been playing over 500 on the road. Let's try to keep this up. And like my boss Jim Lee used to say, tonight is the best game of the year. Tomorrow, it's a different day. That'll be the best game of the year. But tonight, that'll be the biggest game of the year.
Absolutely. Always a big game. Any game you get to play, it's a great game. Thank you for joining us, everybody, on this edition of the Bucco Triple Play podcast. For Don and Rich, I'm Bill Phillips. Until next time, everybody, enjoy the Buccos.